I always remember I think it was like a £30 investment of boxing equipment that got me to where I am right now.
So welcome back to the Punchline podcast. It's been a while. Happy New Year to everyone. And we're ready to roll with the new year. New guests, new stories, new inspiration, and hopefully some new subscribers and new likes and new comments. So tune in. This one, I can tell you now, is going to be a good one because he's not just a guest, he's one of my longtime friends. And this guy's got an infectious smile, so if you can't handle it, look away now. Make sure you subscribe, comment, give us your feedback. We're always there to listen, and let's roll into it. So Mike, welcome.
Welcome, thank you for having me.
So first of all, obviously, introduce yourself. I'm going to call you Mike, but tell us how people can know you, what your professional name is, and how you go about being recognised.
Okay, well, a lot of people I go by the name of Mikey Spice. I've been in the fitness industry for, I'd say, at least 25 years.
There's a rumour that you invented the fitness industry.
I came around after, Mr. Motivator. That's how long I've been in the game for. In my time, I've I coach people online. I also coach small groups, and my company's called Bodysharp, and we've been going for at least about 12 years. And I've also had experience in boxing and had my own boxing academy as well. So I've done a number of things. I'm an ex-athlete, played National League basketball. The list goes on.
The teaching.
Yeah, teaching.
Modelling, your own brand.
Yeah, modelling, my own brand. You know.
The life coaching.
Yeah, the life coaching.
I know all these things because I've had the benefit working with Mikey, so...
Yeah. You see, I don't like to blow my own trumpet and I forget some of the things.
Only a good musician blows his own trumpet. So.
Yeah.
So let's go to the start. What got you into fitness? You mentioned about the basketball, so I know your origins were basketball. So tell us about how your journey in basketball started from the start.
My journey in basketball started... It's actually started from infant school. When I was a young kid, I was very athletic, and I remember, always beating the other kids. So I loved races and stuff like that. And I was quicker than I was the fastest in my year group and the year group above. And basically, just like a kid, I remember Sega came out, and I started to play a lot of Sega. I remember watching Rocky, and I was inspired by Rocky, and I was like, right, the comeback's gonna come back. So I started jogging around the block, training for a few weeks, and then I had a race and beat them. So I felt good, and then complacency happened again. One thing I used to experience when I was young was always getting picked first. And when I became unfit and I got to secondary school, I was getting picked last.
You didn't like it?
And I didn't like it. And it went on for a number of years. Everyone was better than me at football, and I didn't really have anything that I really wanted to go. And one of my friends, he came back from Canada, and he was living time out in Canada. And he was the one we used to play together. He was like, listen, I play basketball, come play basketball with me. So I started playing basketball and, trying to get my head around it. And he was very good. He could dribble through his legs, and he was, doing all these moves. And the final punchline was that basically we were all playing, and, we had to stand up. And you know how it is. Everyone can stand on the line, and, we have two captains and start picking everybody out. And everyone got picked apart from me.
You were the last one.
And I'm the last one to get picked. And you know what happens to the last one to get picked? You just got to go with the shorter numbers. So as I start to walk over to him, he then went to me, you know what? Stay where you are. Don't come over. You can go to the sideline. I'd rather have you watch from the sideline than be on my team. Now, for me, remember, I'm used to be picking first. Now I'm not getting picked at all. And now I'm getting spoken to about, I'd rather you not be on my team. So that put me at my lowest moment. And I went home and I cried. And I hit a very low moment at that time. I was thinking I was about probably about 13, 14. And I said to my brother, I said, yo, buy me a basketball, please. Okay. And I will do everything in my power to beat that guy. I am going to train. And that was it. From then, that's when my competitive edge went through the roof. And every day I was training in the kitchen. My mom used to be like, put the ball down, you're making too much noise. And I was like, no, I got a basketball ring every day. And me and him actually played again. And in my head, I was like, I'm not playing you. I'm going to destroy you.
Took it to an extreme level.
And from there, I beat him. He was like totally shocked. It was like ridiculous points. I think he only scored once and we played to like 12. And then from there, you know, my basketball coach seen me, and then I went to play for Birmingham Bullets, and then I went over to play for Excel. He was starting, my coach who was coaching me at the time, he was putting together a team called Excel. So when he actually formed it, you know, I went back to him, I left Bullets and I went, right, I want to play for Excel. Because he's the one who really helped me to really excel into another part.
And he knew how good you were and he wanted you.
Yeah. So then I started playing for Excel. And I think that year when we came out together as a team, we did very well together as a team. Then we came like third in the league from a team that's, you know, nobody knew about. So that's how I actually started my basketball. And then I suppose I left off from there, from basketball, and I was like, there's two things I want to do. I said, I want to play basketball or I want to, do you know what I mean, be a businessman. So there were the two things. But when I was playing basketball, I had a strength coach, and he asked all of us in the team, like, who would like to come and do some weights and do some. So I was like, okay, I'll do that. So he started to strength train me and my cousin. I've got a picture somewhere. I have to pull it out somewhere.
You have to share it with us.
Yeah. And so we were in the gym training, and he said to me, he said, Mike, you know what? You'd be very good at this, you know. You got like the personality, the charisma. You should really think, you know, when you leave school, become a fitness coach, a trainer. So I was like, yeah, you know, sounds good. You know, I think I might go down that avenue. And, you know, from there, it was cool. From there, I was researching, and I remember the moment. When it actually happened. Was I was walking in. I was one stop, and I seen this lady, and I was like, you know, I looked at her and I was like, wow, she looks amazing. So I walked up to like start chatting to her. And I was like, oh, you know, what is it you do? And she goes, well, I'm talking about the fitness industry and, you know, and to be a lifeguard. And I went, lifeguard? At that time, I had done swimming in the past. And I was like, okay, sounds really interesting. So I'm thinking like, you know, at the same time, I'm trying to chat her up as well. And then she gave me a contact number to be, you know, get on a course for lifeguarding. So I took the number and I went on the course and I became a lifeguard. And that lady, you know, who actually gave me that contact number, in later years, she became my manager. And then she recruited me as a centre manager. Hence. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah. Won't mention no names.
Don't mention no names.
So it started with a lifeguard, yeah? And then the centre manager, was it like a whole leisure centre or just a swimming centre or what?
No, it was a fitness place.
A full place, yeah.
Full place, and that's when I ended up meeting you.
So when did you actually start doing the weights, and what was the first thing you did to get into the weights?
What did I first do?
Because it's all changed now. Now, a lot of personal trainers, without discrediting anyone, there's a lot of people unqualified, but they're doing really well. Like, they've trained, they know the trade, whatever. But at that time, obviously, it was a little bit more strict. You have to do certain courses. So, going back to your journey, what was, like, the first course you went on, and how did you find it? Did you find people were accepting of the way you train or the way you teach? Or
Yeah, it was. I did at that time. I think at that time when I did it, I went on a course alongside my lifeguarding. I think it was Focus then, and at that time there was Focus, there was YMCA. So I did I think it was like a few days of learning it. Then I went and did a strength and conditioning one, which was like a powerlifting to learn Olympic lifts and stuff like that. So I did some courses on that as well. And then I remember when I was doing my lifeguarding course, there was one of the head trainers at that leisure centre. She then seen me, and then she asked me to come on board and do some hours at, I think it was the King Standing Leisure Centre. So then I got shifts at King Standing Leisure Centre, and then from there I was in the council system, and then I became a council employee, and then I was going around all the different centres. I think I worked at least about 6 different centres. So I think I was at Sutton Coldfield, I was at Handsworth, I was at King Standing, Small Heath, Birmingham Sports Centre, and there was one other one. There's another one as well, I can't remember off the top of my head. But at that time, when it came to weights then, okay, because we had fitness studios, which was, the treadmills and stuff like that. And then at that time, we only had 3 weight training gyms, and they were Small Heath Leisure Centre, which I still work there today. I really love that place, so I'm going to probably stay there for a long time. Birmingham Sports Centre and Alexander Stadium. That's it. I've worked at Alexander Stadium as well.
that's like the nice one now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
So with the Commonwealth Games, they've done so much like investment, doing the track up and doing the stadium up. So that's like the standout showcase piece now.
Yeah.
But you was obviously one of the guys that built it.
Yeah. At the beginning, Alexander Stadium, you suppose it didn't look like that, but at the same time, you had all the athletes come. So I was there when Denise Williams? Denise
Williams or Denise Lewis?
Denise Lewis, sorry.
Yeah.
I was there when Denise Lewis was there, and she used to come in to the PowerPoint, and I used to be around all those athletes as well. When Linford Christie, I remember they had some events where all the athletes came down. It's in Linford Christie, Colin Jackson, and I was like, wow, these people when they got to see how they train as well.
The best in the country they were.
Yeah.
I remember Linford Christie, the stay.
Yeah.
Wicked.
Yeah, Linford Christie had amazing body. Amazing.
Good work ethic as well.
Yeah.
From what I've read and heard about him, he was always a hard-working person.
Yeah.
I think that's what the difference is nowadays. Now it's more like they rely on technology and resources. Now in them days, it was just like simple, but graft.
Yeah. The hardcore work ethic, and just get up, train, and just try and beat your personal best. Yeah.
So going back to the places where you trained, why do you think people picked you out of all the staff? Why would you the person that would go to you and say, we want you to work at this training centre, we want you to work here? What were the qualities that you had that made you stand above the others?
I suppose I just wanted to give out. I enjoyed seeing people progress, and I think that's something like when the first coach I ever worked with, he noticed that I would, when we were training and he was pushing me, I was willing to be pushed, and I was willing to push others that were around me. So it only became like, okay, this guy's got some great qualities. I think when I was at King Standing, and the other lady, who first seen me and said, right, I want you to do some hours at King Standing. Same again. I think she took to my charisma of like me smiling, being friendly, being outgoing. I wanted to know more, and I wanted to give people more. And when it came to showing people around the gym. It wasn't just about, it was about how much can I show you, okay, so you would carry on doing it without me and learn what I've learned.
Like empowering people, yeah?
Yeah.
To just get on with stuff.
Yeah. And so that carried on a number of years. It's quite funny because I had to do some design, and I had to get a designer in. And this guy comes to see me, and he's like, okay, what stuff do you need? And I was like, I need like this design. And he's like, you don't remember me, do you? And I was like, no, I don't. He's like, I remember you. And he had a really good physique.
You made him do press-ups.
Yeah. He goes to me, the first day I ever walked into the gym, I seen you. And I remember seeing you, and you're going to give me an induction. And you were like big, and like, I was like, wow, that's the kind of body I want. And he goes, you showed me a few things, and you told me like, just, we're not going to do that much, but I'm just going to show you about how to use this stuff and give you a little bit of what it feels like. And he walked away, and he was going, is that it? He says the next day, he was like, I couldn't remember my body was hurting. I always remember that moment, but I loved it because I knew that I achieved something in that moment, and I felt better within myself. And I knew, looking at you, if I carried on, I would get to that level. That guy's now, I know, he's a personal trainer. He teaches people how to become a trainer as well. So, and he does his graphic design. And, it's nice when I hear things and stories, that people have gone off, taken what I've given them and they've applied it.
And it's worked.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So tell us about how you transitioned from all these leisure centres, working for people, working for the council, into your own brand. So I know Bodysharp, and I know you're the brand. Yeah. And I know everybody loves you. Yeah. So tell us how that transition came about. What made you take that step, and why? Okay.
What it was, I wanted more. And I wanted to, do a lot more probably within the council. And at the time, I didn't feel like I was getting the opportunities that I wanted and the things that I wanted to do. So I thought to myself, you know what, I'm going to do my own thing because there was certain limits I could get to. So I thought, if I work with myself and put the accountability on me and then take what I'm doing, because I love doing it anyway, that's the best way forward. And plus I was reading Tony Robbins back then, and he talked about moving in your own direction. So I said, right, what I'm going to do is, I think it was boxercise at that time. And bearing in mind, I think at that time, when I was doing it, I had one of the largest boxercise classes in Birmingham. I mean, like, I used to have a sports hall, Handsworth Sports Hall, and fill out the whole sports hall of people. And, for that love, I was like, right, I'm going to do my own boxing thing. So I started off buying my own boxing equipment. And from there, the boxing equipment got me to the point that it built my program, where I went off and I did like these 60-day programs. And then from the 60-day programs to then having my own gym. So I always remember I think it was like a £30 investment of boxing equipment that got me to where I am right now, just by taking it and going, right, I'm going to invest in these boxing equipment, and I'm going to make some leaflets, give them out to people, tell people, and then from there it just grew. But ultimately, for those people watching, it's not just £30, it's all the hours that nobody saw, the sleepless nights, and the graft that people don't like. But I know you're a grafter. Sometimes I've messaged you at 3 a.m. and you responded within like 30 seconds. I'm like, what are you doing awake? I'm just doing some work. And then 7 a.m. the same day, I'm still at work. When did you sleep? Oh, not till the weekend. Yeah, that's true. There's been a lot of hours.
Also, I remember there's a couple of times I saw you in the city centre promoting. So tell us about promotion. So anybody out there doing anything, any business, any project, any event, how important is promotion?
Promotion is very important. The game's changed a lot because I didn't tell you, but there was a phase when I left basketball. Remember, I said I wanted to be a businessman or athlete, and basically I set up a company called Hotspot, and Hotspot at that time was when the internet was just about to take off. And the idea came around was that I invited my cousin from Nottingham to come over to a club, and it was out in the countryside. So it wasn't Birmingham, it was out in the countryside. And everyone had been going on about this club, saying how good it was. And he drove all the way, picked me up from Birmingham to go to Northamptonshire, wherever it is, okay? And we got to the club, and the club was actually diabolical. And, you know, I went in the toilets, and there was no doors on the toilets. And I was thinking, everyone told me that this club was so good, you know, and I've got it, it's so rubbish. Do you know what I said? And then my cousin goes to me, he goes, I can't believe you made me drive all the way from Nottingham. Told me how good it was. And the club was diabolical. So that's when my brain went off, and I went, wow, you know what? How about I do a website called Hotspot, and I'll tell people about all the hottest places that are around, you know, England. And do you know what I mean? And people can go to the website, and I'll take pictures of them in clubs and then show them on, you know, Hotspot. And I did that for I think we had Hotspot for about 5 years. And at that time, we started to do club nights as well. And it was, then it was simple. You design a flyer and you hand it out. You hand it out at the end of the nights, you hand it out to everyone coming out to the clubs. Daytime, when people are shopping, you hand it out in the daytime so people know come evening where to go. And then people started to use the internet. So it started to get very popular. And at that time, a lot of the bars and restaurants didn't know much about the internet. So when we were approaching them saying we're going to feature you on there, they were like, okay, this is all new. So, you know, that started to really take off. And, you know, I think we had something ridiculous of like so many thousands of people logging on, so bad that the servers at that time couldn't cope with it. So the site used to go down because the internet servers weren't that great. And so, you know, but we also had club nights, and our club nights started to become a success. We had I think we were battling with a club called Key Largo at that time. And I remember the dream of going to Key Largo. Key Largo was always busy on Broad Street. And I remember one night I went there and it was quiet. And I went back to my place and I was like, it's busy. And I was like, yes. Do you know what I mean?
This healthy competition.
Yeah. I was like, done the rival. So that's how it came about, you know, doing promotions. But I know that it's more changed now. You know, you can't go out. I was around in the time when they started to ban people from giving people leaflets on there, or you needed a pass to give people. And I suppose that's when it all started to change. But now you can see it's all about social media. And to think about it, you know, I suppose Mark Zuckerberg, he actually, you know, made a better version of what I did with Hotspot. But at that time, the reason why Hotspot was doing so great and people didn't know, because I used to take pictures of them, people would go back and tell their friends, oh, I'm on this thing called Hotspot. But at the same time, I think the idea and the concept I had, having more backing would have been better. And at the same time, it was before its time on systems and pictures. A lot of the internet back then was, you only get like 2 pictures or 3 pictures.
Very limited. Isn't it?
Yeah, but then you got me who's going, right, I take a picture of like 18 people in the club and I want to put it up to the server. And the server's like, sorry.
Plus, a lot of people didn't have the smartphones and access to the internet. It was really expensive.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day, it was dial-up internet. And those people who don't know what I'm talking about, is basically you have a landline, and when you dial up on the internet, it actually dials the phone number, connects to a server, and your phone goes off.
Yeah.
So you lose one or the other.
Yeah.
And now it's different. Now you can be on the internet and be on a call at the same time. It's like 2 different things working in tangent.
Yeah.
Right. So going back to your own business, you had that inspiration, or you wanted to have that growth to do something for yourself. So tell us how that journey started. How did you start off? And you talked about the 30-day and 60-day fitness camps. Tell us what that's all about.
Okay, so basically, after I stopped doing Hotspot, and it was down to I suppose there was a lot of things going on in nightclubs where people were getting hurt and stuff like that, and I made the decision like it's not probably the best route that I want to go down, because 1 minute a club could be here, you're having a nice night, and then you could hear like shootings or anything like that. But my other passion was always fitness, so I was always still in the door of fitness. So when I decided to like start doing my own fitness programs, do my own boxing classes, I had a call from my cousin, and he was telling me about this. He told me ages ago from America, and he was going, Mike, there's a guy called Sean T. He says, I told you ages ago you should have done a workout video, and this is what that guy's done. So I was like, I looked at what Mr. Sean T, and I was like, okay. By then, nobody knew about Sean T then. Nobody knew about 60 Day or anything like that. So I got the idea, and I went, right, I'm going to call it 60 Day Extreme. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to coach people for 60 days, and it's going to be a lot of calisthenics, okay? And I'll also put like a little bit of weights in there as well. And I'm going to train these people for 6 days a week for 1 hour, and over 60 days. And we did that, and I got a nutritionist at the same time to come on board to support me, where she would take care of people's foods and organise them to make sure they did. And we had some remarkable results where, it was like, I think I ended up doing 10 60 days back to, 10 60 day camps.
And each one got bigger and bigger.
Yeah, each one got bigger and bigger. And some of my other people, they stayed on to
do
it again. And, we did that. And it was really good. And then I got the opportunity to then open up my own gym. So I think with the opportunity to open my own gym, where I always wanted to, but I didn't think it was possible. And then the opportunity came around. I was like, wow, this is my biggest dream that I always wanted, to have a gym. So then the 60-day camps ended up going back down in the background, where I started to work on this gym. Do you know what I mean? Which I had the gym for about 4 years. I think it was 4 years. I think yourself, you came down and did help me promote it as well. You did
a few boxing camps.
Boxing camps. And oh yeah, the boxing camp as well. Oh my God, yeah, we did a lot of things.
There was a boxing camp. There was where you were teaching people to become personal trainers. You had partnerships with colleges. You had the Edinburgh, Duke of Edinburgh across the road. They were coming over and doing stuff.
Yeah.
You had like private gym users there, and in between all that, you were running from site to site and helping other gyms function as well. So
yeah.
I didn't know how you used to do it, and that's why I said every time I message you, I get a response in 30 seconds. You're like the, 999 of the gym industry in Birmingham, because anytime we need you, you're there, you're available. Yeah. I don't know how you do it, but you do it.
Yeah,
you do it really well, obviously. Yeah, so you're saying you got the gym and then...
Yeah. So the camps ended up going down, and I started to work more in the gyms and doing all these programs inside the ring at the time, which is good. I had my first fighter, do you know what I mean? I had my first fighter do his first show. He actually did it on an ace, and an ace. He's done brilliant, man.
He's still going really well.
Yeah, he is.
Going really well.
I told Ace, like, I knew at that time, because I did have to close down the ring, but I told Ace, I said, like, listen, you know, I'm going through a little bit of difficulty. I said, but listen, the mission is, I'm not going to stop until you get your first fight. And, you know, I still remember that moment. And when I do my meditation, I always remember that gratitude moment, because Ace got a big standing ovation then. And you don't understand the things that, like, both of us went through. And Nathan, in fact, of, like, you know, ups and downs. And I was going through things as well. And to get that, where he got that win, and then the crowd were, like, amazed. Because he worked really, really hard for that fight. And, you know, he did amazing that day.
Proud moment.
Yeah.
So to tell us about the setbacks, obviously you said you had to close the gym and you had some problems. Just generally, just touch on setbacks. What kind of setbacks have you faced in your career?
I got too many to punch, man. But I think my setbacks started to happen when I got injured, and it wasn't due to the fact I was training. I just took a step back, and I had Achilles snap, and I snapped my Achilles. And then it became quite hard when I had other coaches there, but then I had to then start taking a back seat because I couldn't do anything. And, you know, then I had to go on my own little personal journey. And then plus, at the same time, while my Achilles snapped, I also had my father that was getting sick, you know, he was getting sick. And then in that time, like, he passed away. So I had, you know, the pressure of the gym. I had my own personal issues with my injuries, and then I had my father as well.
It all piled up at the same time.
Yeah. It felt like Mike Tyson giving me a triple uppercut, man.
Sometimes I don't think we can't plan for that, can you?
No, you
just
can't.
hits you in the face and you just got to take the hit.
Yeah. When the moment comes, it's about how you're just going to stay in the moment, but just keep on just slowly ticking away and just riding through it. So, you know, I got over that, and then I had another injury about 2 years later where I actually did my knee. No, but tell a lie. After that, the gym started to close down, so I had to sort out the gym. So once I closed down the gym, I restarted back. I moved facilities. So just the moving in itself, that takes a toll on you to, you know, take all the equipment down, you know, sell some, rebuild again. And I went through the building of rebuilding. And then as I got settled, then I did my knee. And then that knee problem couldn't, you know, it took time because now I couldn't exert all my energy that I wanted to say I'm back, something's new, doing this, because I'm injured now. And I've got to work on me. And then, like I say, and the worst thing with that injury, which was ACL tear and meniscus, I did it at the beginning of April, so beginning of the year. So the first operation he did was at the beginning of the year. And then the last one was at the end of the year.
The whole year got wasted.
So the whole year got wasted. And then because the whole year got wasted as well, on top of that, my leg, when it came to 2019, I had to learn how to re-walk. And because my leg had been so much out of action, like 1 minute had the injury, then it got better to a certain extent, then going back and doing it again. I had severe muscle wastage. And my first injury, my muscle mass went down. So I had one leg from my calf, from my ankles up to my thigh, that was just like size of my bicep and my arm. And do you know what I mean? I had to
restart.
So what I did is, I knew what the goal was. The goal was, right, I got to get myself back. But what I did, I said to myself, I am not going to jump, because my goal was I'm going to try and reach and grab the basketball ring. But I said, I'm not going to do that for a year. Fact, yes, but for a year. So I waited. So 2019, I was training. And then I got to the stage that I could, but my leg was still weak. I still had imbalance. And then I think going on to at the end of 2019, I booked a trip to America for February 2020. And then what happened? That was my getaway place to go, where I could walk as long as I wanted to without any problems. And then when I arrived back in the UK now, we had the COVID pandemic. Do you know what I mean? So it's been taking quite a while, but they're the things with setbacks.
So what was the main thing that kept you going? When you were sitting down and you weren't allowed to get involved, which you'd like to do, you like to take charge, get involved, help people. What kept you going?
What kept me going? I suppose I looked at it as like, this is what I've got, this is what I enjoy. And if I went to try and do something else, would anything else fill the spot? Because one thing I've always done, I've always coached with people. I'm a people's person. I enjoy talking to people, meeting people, inspiring people, connecting with people. So if I went to say, right, I'm going to throw the towel in, and I went to do something else, it won't be the same. I'm about physical movement. I'm all about movement. I realized as well, once you've gone so far in moving, and then you stop moving, I was having other problems. My circulation started to mess up. I started to feel more niggles. So I realized, like, listen, I think I've trained so much and been active so much. Me being inactive is actually going to be the thing that's going to damage me even worse. So I've got to a stage, and you realize it, I suppose anybody who trains, once you've done so many years, you have to stay on that journey. Can't go on another journey, or that's it.
I kind of hear you a little bit. I know you're looking at me because I'm out of shape at the moment.
Yeah.
I've been out of shape for a while, but I blame the missus since I got married. So since I got married, all I've done is eat. So it's still in the back of my head what you told me last time you saw me.
Yeah.
So Mikey bumped into me in IKEA and basically nudged me and said, get out of the way. And I turned around, it was Mike, and he started laughing. And he said, I didn't recognise you there. You've never been this big. And I was like, I'm a big man now. So always trying to find the humour, but I know what you're saying. I need to get back into shape.
But one thing I always say to everybody, okay, is either two things. You're either feeling good or feeling bad. Once you experience what it's like feeling good, everything else is going to be feeling bad. Do you know what I mean? And you're always going to want to feel good. So it's going to be a moment in time when something's going to click and you'll be like, that's it. Just like how I was when I was younger and I was, do you know what I mean, first place. And then I went from last place and I started to didn't feel good. I felt bad and I wanted that, feel good. So it's inevitable.
Keep it simple, innit?
Yeah.
And try to focus. I think that's the main thing.
Yeah, but there's gonna be a trigger when you eventually you're gonna be like, right, I've had enough of feeling bad. Don't want to feel like this now. I'm going back to feeling good, and that's when you're gonna be back on your regime, and then you're gonna probably sustain it. So you gotta go through the ups and downs, and then eventually you're gonna have a balance, and you'll be like, right, this is my happy place, because right now I think where we are in society, everyone wants to feel happy. Everyone wants to feel nice. They probably don't know on how to do it. But I'm saying is that one thing I've found, the key to happiness, okay, and be truly happy, is overcoming your demons of things that you're not good at, or things that you think you couldn't do, or things that you need to get back to. Once you overcome them, it's like a computer game, you get released to a next level. And you're like, wow, this is what the next level looks like. And you get released again. And you're like, wow, this level looks really good. And then once you've been to the next level, it's hard to go back down to the bottom level again, You
know what you can do, and you don't want to go back to where you came from.
Yeah.
So tell us a bit about the gym itself, like for yourself. Like, what's your favourite exercise? What's your least favourite exercise? Why?
Okay, my favorite used to be upper body. Okay, my least favorite used to be my legs. But now I've had to turn my leg. I always say, God punished me because, like, you needed to do more leg work. So now I've been very focused now to do more leg work. So legs are my more favorite now.
Any particular exercise?
I never used to like squats.
Now you love them.
I don't love them, but I know I need to do them. I know I need to do them because they're very important. So, but saying that, when I was playing basketball, because I wanted to dunk the ball, I used to love legs. But then when I wanted an upper body and I didn't have an upper body, I started to love upper body. And I didn't need to do legs because I had very strong legs, but just gone right the opposite way now, isn't it?
So I remember a little while ago, well, quite a few number of years ago, you was good at running. So how much cardio do you do before your injury?
Before?
Yeah.
I used to run. I used to run at least about what? My running used to be based off long distance, and I would say long distance about 4 or 5 miles, and I also used to do short as well. So mine was a lot of sprint work as well. So I had the ability to do both. But yeah, and a lot of the things that I used to involve at the beginning that we had to run first or do any sprint work, then we get into the gym and work out. So I've always been based off like high endurance workouts, fartlek kind of workouts as well. Yeah.
And obviously you're leading a busy lifestyle. What do you do outside of work? What do you do outside the gym? Like family? Is there any other hobbies you have? Music? Tell us a bit about what happens when you're actually officially not working.
Officially, I don't know what that looks like.
Too much work.
What does it look like if I'm not? I suppose family time. Right now I'm helping my son as well to get better at boxing and get a better mindset as well. I'm supporting my mum right now as well. So if I'm not doing anything in the gym, I go check up on her, make sure that she's. I realise I probably don't even switch off. I'm always checking up on people. Like, what have you done this? I went shopping. That made me laugh. I went shopping yesterday. I must have bumped into at least about 5 people. And I'm checking in people's trolleys. Like, yeah. I see one of my clients. He walked me at the corner. He was like, "Oh, Mike, this is not for me. This is for the kids who I'm coaching in basketball." And I'm like,
Harry Bowles.
And I'm supposed to be, what am I supposed to be doing? I'm supposed to be shopping for myself. But I'm out still,
Keeping an eye on everyone.
Keeping an eye on everyone. I see somebody I haven't seen in a while, and I'm like, he's like, "Mike, man, like I'm starting to struggle in the gym," and I'm there giving him pointers of what he can do to improve. So really, do you know what? Now you actually say that, I probably don't actually switch off not listening. I'm always trying to help somebody or inspire them.
And obviously, from the fitness point of view, when you're coaching people, tell us about rest. How important is rest?
Yeah, rest.
Even though you're not getting any, but what is principle of rest?
Rest is very important for recovery. Stretching, that's very important. One thing I've started to do recently is like cold showers. I had this fear about, I don't do cold water, and I've broke through that this year, achieving my third dip in the sea of last year, and the last dip was the most extreme. That was December.
What kind of temperature we're talking?
And that was in Brighton.
Talking cold.
At 8:15 in the morning. You can imagine. But it was very interesting. And now I've got to another level where now I can jump in the cold showers. I'm like, yeah, I'm in the cold shower. But all these things, rest, cold showers, getting to sleep on time. I try to average at least about 7 hours to 8 hours. Sometimes it does fall down to 5, but be mindful of it. but you need chance for your body to recover and for your mind to relax as well. Meditation, I started to do meditation. I've just done I did a 5-day free challenge to my private Facebook community group where we did $1 Million Morning. And the reason why I did it is because I felt like I was losing structure, and I just needed a bit more structure back in my life. So part of that was like getting up at 5 a.m., meditating, having a cold shower, exercising for 30 minutes, reading a book, and getting your breakfast in. And you know, it's a really good ritual to try and do. I know it's quite tough because there's a certain amount of modules. I didn't just automatically get into hitting all 5 of them things and getting up at 5 a.m. I actually broke it down. I looked at what time I usually get up, which was probably about 7, and then I adjusted it by 30 minutes at a time, allowed my body to get comfortable to getting up at that time, and then took it down until I got to 5 a.m. And you know, that's how, you know, you should really try and look at your training and some of the things that you want to achieve. Just look at the small micro steps and then get used to doing that before you progress to the next level. Don't just go from A straight to B, because it's not sustainable for a long period of time.
The small pieces, yeah?
Yeah.
Little steps. So I remember at one point you also had your own fashion brand. So give us some tips on that.
Yeah. The fashion brand basically was M. Clothing. And how that came about was because I have broad shoulders.
Yeah.
And I wanted a shirt that was going to more fit my body. And what was the problem I was having, every shirt that I put on was, it had back cape. And then I was like, right, I'm going to come up with a shirt that more clings to your body and it's going to be more tighter. And so that's how I came about doing that design. And then later on, I suppose we've got the name. At that time, I didn't know what to call the shirt at that time. Slim Fit or something, one of these names. And then I happened to go into the store a couple of years later, and then this person goes, I was looking for a shirt. And then the person went to me, oh, you look like you need a muscle fit shirt. And I was like, muscle fit? Is that what they're calling them? Oh man, I was like, I thought this started here about 3 years ago, but I didn't know the name. So there it is.
I remember the shirts, like really loud.
Yeah, flamboyant.
Pattern, printed. Yeah, really cool.
Yeah. Very flamboyant.
I thought they were quite good.
Yeah.
Good quality as well.
Yeah.
So what's next then for the future? What we're looking forward to? What have you got planned? Or any secrets you can share with us or things to look forward to?
Well, for the future, I'm launching my new 28-day Game Changer Start program, which is an online program that people can train at home or they can train in the gym. And it's 28 days to get people started, to get them in a routine of just doing some basic form of exercise and having structure and a program combined with their nutrition to give them a bit more understanding about what they need for their body. So that's going to be launching very soon this month. And then I'm going to be setting up I got another 8 weeks camp, which is going to be at my studio. I'm looking to work with a group of 6. I'm just wanting to clarify with all these COVID rules about how many we could have at one time before I start enrolling people to say, right, 8 weeks of coaching, and I'll be there to support them, training them 3 times per week, teaching them how to train correctly with the weights, and also giving them some cardio programs to do that they can do by themselves. So I'm looking forward to getting started with that. And then also, I've got public speaking. I've been doing some stuff to get better at my public speaking and also speaking at certain events. So I'm looking to engage in more events like that. So that's where the future is going for me, which is more accountability coaching, because I seem like I do that a lot, keep accountable with a lot of people. So,
you know, when you said about these camps and your gym, tell us where your gym is and how people can reach out to you.
Okay, yeah, we've just recently moved from our last location, because after COVID, after gyms could be open, we had to relocate to a new place. It's Aston. It's not far from my old place, so it's like Aston / Allen Rock. So that's nearby there. What was the other question you said?
How can people reach you?
Okay.
So if somebody wants to know about the camps or where the gym is, how can they get in touch with you? So what's your social media accounts, Facebook pages, stuff like that?
Yeah. Well, people can get hold of me on Bodysharp Transformation, and that's on Instagram. So Bodysharp _transformation. Or they can message me personally, which is Bodysharp Mikey Spice. The website is bodysharpfitness.com. Or you could email me at bodysharp@live.co.uk. So I'm across all the internet, can't even say the words now.
Social media.
Across all the social media networks. Just Google, put Bodysharp, and you'll find me.
Yeah, we'll share it as well, so we'll make sure that people can reach out to you.
Yeah, and bear in mind, remember, it's Body Sharp, not shop.
Bodysharp is a different brand.
Yeah. I tell people Body Sharp, and then people put down Bodysharp, and I'm like, huh?
So, is there anything else you want to share with us before we close officially? Is there anything interesting that you might want to share that we haven't already touched on?
Just, you know what, just anybody that's, like I always say to people, and it's more about their health and mental well-being. Just remember, your health is your wealth. Don't leave it to the point that you got to go to a place in your life that it's too hard to come back. Because one thing I've found when I've been injured, I've really appreciated the standard of living that I've been able to do when I was okay. But when it's been taken away from you and you can't do some of the basic things, that's when you really appreciate your life and just having your hands, walking. So be grateful of all those things that you've got right now, and don't wait for bad moments to be grateful of those.
Brilliant.
Yeah.